Okay, at this point, I have done two strips of packing tape in between each strapping tape. I use strapping tape to secure the boffer to the handle rather securely with about 4 pieces. And then because I am a stab happy fighter, I reinforce the tip with several additional layers. There are 2 or 3 strips this way of packing tape, and there's a strip here and here of packing tape. It's rather sturdy, it still gives, and it just has very little chance of turning sideways in the next few months. This should last me for anywhere from 4 to 6 months, maybe even a year if I don't lend it out to other people. But hit it solidly, there's no swivel, there's a little bit of a bend whenever you push it, but no more than any other flat blade. Very well secure, you pinch it, no core, no core, no core. Back here you can start to feel a little bit of firmness, but it's not actually core, that's the actual padding that we put on for the extra padding. So this is a pretty solid weapon, and of course it is rather front heavy. So now I will go ahead and show the techniques for a fairly certain this is a Dovantech pommel. I saw Kine build it whenever he was making a minimum ultralight flat blade. It did not pass inspection because he did not quite build up the pommel enough. He was going for exactly 2 inches, and came out just a fraction under. This one though, I'm actually going to make sure it's a fraction at least over 2 inches. So we're just rolling these pre-cut strips, and there's about 15 of these because we really want to build this up. V8 says minimum 2-inch pommel, V7 was 2.5 inch. Right now I'm not even measuring, I am just trying to get as much as I can on here in a smooth and continual motion, rolling it around. And no, I do not really pad the back end of the core for 2 reasons. One being that I will not be striking with it, and 2, this pommel buildup provides incredible sturdiness. If one were to build a weapon of questionable legality with nothing but MC foam, it would be very, very sturdy, very unforgiving in its buffs too. At about 5, I'm kind of curious to its width. It's about 3 or 4 pieces, and we're at just under 1.5 inches. I use the width of the yardstick to measure the thing of the pommel. I can make it narrower, and I have made ones that are only about between 1/2 and 1 inch big. I'm wanting to also use this to help build up some weight, to help act as a counterbalance. It will give the sword more weight overall, but the blade will be more alive as the more and more weight gets put on the back. Already I can really feel that's really helping out. And we should be about 2 inches here. Yeah, just under 2 inches. Plenty of strips to go. A bit too casey-ish right now with that bright yellow. There we go. This should just be at over 2 inches, and yeah, that's 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. Fairly decent feel to it. And of course, whenever I add my pommel, it'll be a bit more. I'm going to go for an extra fat pommel because I am once again trying to counterbalance the length. while I want a light sword, adding more weight on the back end can actually make the whole thing feel lighter. If I don't like it, it's peel and stick foam. It's pretty easy to take off. It's really beginning to feel alive. Once again, this is well above and beyond AmpGuard minimum requirements. I heartily recommend people go a little bit above. They don't have to go a lot. It's already fairly generous in safety. I mean, you could get hit with courtesy padding and not really get hurt. So this is just here to make our lives a little bit. Oh, I like that feel right there. I like that. It's definitely got some weight to the pommel. I can double hand it. And so I've measured, and actually I'm coming in right at under 40 inches right now. And of course we have to put a pommel on it. So doing draw general cuts. There we go. You only have to have a minimum amount of padding for the pommel. The rules say must not feel core. So we will not feel core. Take this. Once again, there's no need for this. Just a little bit of stuffing in there to help. It may or may not actually have any effect, but I just like always stuffing my cores with a little bit of padding. Ah, the stickiness is awesome. It's so sticky! Got a good balance. Obviously it's going to be a bit more sluggish than minimum short, but the flurb is well worth it. Sturdily made. It's not going to get sloughed, but it's also not going to injure. Although you will know it when you feel it because of the bevels. That always makes a sword slightly less friendly, and if you make a sword with a bevel, do not loan it out to a noob. Nothing against newbies, they just might not be swinging with control. I tend to try to swing very poppy, come in, hit out, pull back. I don't generally do power swings unless I'm trying to shot through a block or a shield, in which case it's going to get slowed down on the block anyway. This part, we just let it set. Have to hold it, that's going to be boring. But basically, this will be a finished sword that just needs a cover and the handle built up. I use a little bit of grip foam to smooth out the line. The MC padding actually makes for a very nice thickness of a handle. And then I just wrap it. If you want it slightly thicker, you can add more MC. You can use the fabric. I'm probably going to have a drawstring cover on this one, so I won't be using fabric for the padding. I know that Fitz of the Wetlands uses denim. As we're doing this, hopefully, I'm going to pan this up just a little bit. Now, there are times that I've seen ones where they curve around like this, and I actually made one. My one that I'm currently using is like that. It started to come apart far too early in its lifespan, and whenever I inspected, I saw that the flat sides, when it was pressed, where that flat piece was making this one to come apart more readily. And this method has proven to be pretty sustainable and long lasting. So, trying to get rid of any work to it before it completely sets. Don't really have a whole lot of forgiving time for that. There we go. That should be good. And I'm going to let this set. And of course, cover, grip tape the pommel. You'll have a completed Elkhart legal weapon.